But I want to take just a second and celebrate a couple of the things that have happened this year, especially with Congress and being such gridlock, where the Senate takes 60 votes to decide to go to the bathroom. It's really hard to get anything passed through both chambers of Congress. One, something that the House likes, the Senate doesn't, and vice versa. And so, as Charlie mentioned this morning, you've got one side digging in the trenches on no entitlement reform. You've got the other side digging in the trenches on no raises in taxes. And the truth is that if you don't do both of those things, you don't get to the solution. And so when you're fighting over all these big issues, it's hard to get littler stuff through the Congress. But we did one this year. And with the help of TFI and a number of other allies, we got a fix done to the issue that people have told me was the most important one in their entire operation, and that's the hours of service limit on ag drivers. That limit for the mileage radius has been expanded. It now applies to the points throughout the distribution system. So it's not just from retail to farm gate, it's throughout the system. And that was a heroic achievement in the highway bill. And I want to thank our policy team and our allies at TFI and other groups that helped solve that big problem for ag retail. That's one we can really celebrate. We developed a fertilizer contract several years ago. I think a number of you are using that to minimize some of the risk and increase some of the certainty in your transactions with your members. The next step in that process is draft trade rules. And it would be a system that runs a lot like what National Grain and Feed has done for 102 years, I think, with grain contracts, where there's a model contract, a model glossary of terms that everybody understands what they mean. We're trying to establish a similar thing in fertilizer trade so that if there ever is a legal issue about a fertilizer contract or a transaction, there is a uniform set of rules and expectations that it can be resolved under. There are drafts of that around. Those that are on our fertilizer working group have seen copies of it already. But if you want to see one and haven't seen one yet, find Richard Gupton on our team and he can get you hooked into that conversation. We're also continuing to work to renew the security tax credit that we put in the 2008 Farm Bill. That will expire this year if it's not renewed. And so we're working not only in the Farmer Bill, but in the tax extenders package and anywhere else we can to try to get that renewed. Security for fertilizer is going to be a big issue going forward. And one of the proofs of that is that we have two exhibitors in the trade show this year that have never been here before, federal agencies. One is FBI, who is interested in trying to make sure that the bad guys don't get their hands on fertilizer to do bad things. And the other one is the JADO group, or Joint IED Defeat Organization. That's what that all stands for. It's a division of the Army and the Pentagon, and their role is to make sure that fertilizer isn't used to kill soldiers in Afghanistan, Pakistan, and other places where we have people deployed. There will be an impact from us for the decisions that are made in that arena. And so ARA is engaged in it.